Okay, here's a $1 million question. Why do our Indians fly down to the Middle East? Um, you know, why do they fly down to the Middle East to stay there or get a job? Why? Because you want a better life, you want to earn a better income, and you want career growth. Okay. But in this video, I'm going to share with you 10 absolute geniuses who flew down to Dubai, UAE, got themselves a good job, but then did something stupid where they ended up getting terminated. Okay. Now, out of these 10, very few are my clients. Most of them are people who committed the crime, so to speak, or the stupidity, and then wanted free advice or my opinion. And then the rest are my contacts and connections or people in the HR whom, when I'm speaking to them, they told me this is what happened. So listen to these 10 incidents and you tell me which one is your favorite one. Or feel free to chime in and let me know if you met any or came to know of any such incident where an idiot was involved. Okay. So, no particular order. First one, this particular guy, young chap, smart, highly educated, means he went to the West, got himself a nice degree, fancy degree, advanced level communication, and then came down to the UAE. He must have thought maybe because he got all this Gora white qualification that he was superior to others. And he used to always look down on others or he used to have a bad attitude, because of which finally the management got fed up. His boss got fed up. His colleagues got fed up. And ultimately, what happened was he was one day called to the HR and he was given his marching orders. Now, because he studied in the West, he lived in the West, he thought, how you can sue the company or sue the HR. He threatened the HR, he threatened the people in the department, he threatened everyone. I'm going to sue your ass, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Indian passport holder, Indian, okay? And he showed his might and power, and also one is threatening, one is losing your temper, okay, which he did both. Little did he know is, number one, if you have an Indian passport, you can't do jack shit. Number two is, when you're young and when your blood is boiling and your testosterone levels are high, you tend to do stupid things in life. And number three is, never ever threaten the HR, never ever lose your temper with them, because ultimately they're the ones who are doing your legal paperwork. And most importantly, do not let the owner know about your stupidity, because he has money. And because of all the circus he did, this guy with a Western education qualified for the job, smart, intelligent, but with his nose up in the air and his head in the clouds, he ended up with the not just, he didn't actually take them to court, but his life was made so miserable that they put a legal this thing on him that he didn't do his work and this and that. They dragged it long, and finally they gave him a permanent ban. And unfortunately for him, he tried applying through immigration. His visa always got rejected in immigration, stating that he has legal case on him. And if he would land there, then he would be falling into legal trouble. So he destroyed his own career. And it was only when he tried everything and failed and could not succeed is where he got in touch with me. But by the time, it was way too late. So the first one is, never threaten the HR, never threaten the owner. And please, if you're an Indian passport holder, don't say, I'll take you to court and I'm going to sue your ass and show off. Okay, number one. Number two is, let's call this guy Ramu. Okay, Ramu from Mumbai. He as it is, he found my service expensive, but then he finally decided to go ahead with it after negotiating. And there was not too much work, so I said, fine, okay, we can agree on this price. And so he did his resume quickly. I gave him a few basic interview pointers. He was a smart, outgoing guy. Guys from Mumbai, Bombay, very sharp, very good in talking, very fast in thinking. However, he was a little bit too smart for himself. Because after he got a job, he succeeded. He was at the right time, right place, right everything. He got a job. But even after getting the job, he decided to keep searching. And while on the company payroll, he was constantly applying for other jobs, going for interviews. And Dubai is a small place. Okay. Dubai is a very small place. So he managed to get a job interview with one of the competitors. And he didn't tell them that he was already working. He wanted it to look like he was searching for a job. But like I told you, Dubai is a very small place. So then someone, I don't know, just managed to find out that he is actually working there. And during the free hours or during the company paid hours, he was actually searching for a job. Because then you have people from this industry, this company working here, this company working here. Everyone knows everyone. So someone just called and asked the company, this guy, is he working for your company? And they said yes. And somebody, I don't know why, maybe he rubbed someone the wrong way. They said he's come here to ask for a job and he's already negotiating his salary. Well, as soon as the person in the company came to know, they informed the HR and they had taken his papers to process his visa. Now, you need to get your papers back, no? So they waited for him to come and ask them, I would like my passport back and all that. So they asked him and they waited. And finally, he came after negotiating the salary. So he was playing the second fiddle. As soon as he got a letter of offer from there, little did you know, these people are already informed about it. So he came to the HR and said, oh, I can't continue to work. My mother's sick. Yeah, all the typical Mumbai nonsense. I want to go back. So they said, oh, you want to go back, huh? You want to go back to India? No problem. We'll help you go back to India. Now, you can't be smarter than the system. The owner made sure that this guy, they kept his passport and whatever until his visa was about to get expired. This is before all these multiple visas came. And they made sure that they took him to the airport, dropped him there, and booked a one-way ticket to his hometown. And not only that, they even informed the HR of the other company that this guy has been working for us, and during office hours, he has been negotiating, terms of payment with you. And obviously, they were like, if he can do that to you, he can do that to us. So we're not interested. So he got sent back. And after he got sent back, he was very happy, thought, I managed to fool them. And he informed these people, okay, please send me the ticket or the job offer. I'm ready to start. They said, sorry, we have withdrawn the offer. And he got panicked. He said, oh, okay, I'll pay the money. I'll come down. They said, no, sorry, we withdrew the offer. And he didn't know what was happening until the HR let him know that when you were working for us, instead of working for us, you were busy hunting for other jobs. I came to know this through the HR. Anyway, okay. Number 3, young men who have never seen females, who suddenly think they are in the land of bobs and vagin. Guy in his 30s from the southern part of India, I'll not tell you specifically where, was selected for the job. Good enough, smart, everything great. But I guess maybe because he was single, he was searching for a wife. And he just thought his charm would work. As soon as he landed in UAE, he must have never seen Filipinas in his life. So the staff was very beautiful. And initially at first he was sweet and nice. And because they used to say hello and sweetly and eat with him, he thought that was the ticket for him to get overly friendly. And he started to flirt with the staff. And then he committed the unpardonable crime. He took one of these Filipinas for a date, and then during the date, he forcefully tried to kiss her, kiss, smooch and all that. He thought that would work. He misunderstood the friendliness as she's interested in sex. And next day, she obviously complained to the HR. And this became a rather serious case because the HR called him and said, we are going to put a police case on you for alleged rape. And it was only when he was going to get fucked, he called me up, and I just told him, see, listen, you can't fight the system, and you cannot fight where you're guilty. Plead with her, beg them, and tell them, without taking it to the law, whatever punishment they give you, you'll accept it. And beg them, just say, your immaturity, your youthfulness, you just thought maybe she liked you, you misunderstood. Cry, do whatever it takes. He did exactly as instructed, and they thought about it. And they asked the Filipina girl if she wanted to withdraw the complaint. She said, but on the condition that he should be terminated, because she was very uncomfortable. So he not only got terminated, but he was told never to come back to UAE, or she would pursue the legal case. So out of that fear, he never decided to come back, and the story remained buried as long as he would never come back to UAE. So, and yeah, eventually he had to delete his entire profile online everywhere because, all these details were with the HR. Anyway, so Bobs and Vagin, don't flirt with the office staff, especially who are seasoned people there. And if you're an Indian and you see a bunch of Filipinas, and they're nice to you, that doesn't mean they're in love with you. Okay. Number 4. This particular guy, bodybuilder, he got a job in this insurance company, and he joined as a sales staff. Now, here's the thing. When you are working on commission, you come to the office only to submit your paperwork, like clientele. Okay, I got 6 clients. Here is the documentation. Please verify. This guy, maybe because he was poor, or maybe because he was from a very poor upbringing, the offices are posh and all that. So he used to enjoy sitting in the office, cool AC and all that. And then he discovered something called a pantry. And in the pantry, people used to keep their food and sandwiches. And he thought it was a good idea to not only, they keep the condensed milk, thick milk, and they keep tea, coffee. He used to fill himself up with this, and he used to even, the container of milk, he used to even steal that. Little did he know that there were cameras. There were cameras in the pantry, and he used to steal that. And, obviously the office boy he was slightly old, he used to wonder, like, what is happening? I bought 4 or 5, which is supposed to last for a month. Now it's lasting for only 7 days, 8 days. What is happening? What, suddenly people have started drinking too much tea, coffee? And then that was not enough, he started to look through the fridge that was there, and there were other people's meals over there. He used to help himself with some fruits and this and that, open the tiffin and take, and obviously the camera was there. The HR did feel sorry for him, but this was not acceptable behavior. And obviously news spread, and they had to let him go. And because it was a very small, insurance industry is a very small industry, and everyone knows everyone. And this was not a very common behavior at the time. News just spread, and he ended up not being able to join the insurance sector. Well, he should have stuck to bodybuilding, being a gym instructor, where food was subsidized and supplements. So if you like to eat, companies, they keep a tab of how much they supply. So that is not food for you, and especially you don't take milk and all that. The HR, that lady, did feel sorry for him, but then again, he's a grown-ass man. He's not a small boy. Number 5, something you should never do, and that is brag and show off. Guy was in sales. It's a company that had, it's a famous company, so I'll not give the name, multiple products and multiple nationalities. And this guy came there with a, very young, very youthful, and with a, stellar sales record from a very young age. So after he started to come there, he started to achieve sales targets, quickly became the best salesman within a few months. But here is where he did the mistake. You become successful. Yes, you make money. He was actually making more money than all the people in the sales department. But then he started to brag and show off, showing an attitude, dressing up with expensive bling and all the new tech that was there. And he even obviously bought a overpriced car because he's single. I mean, what has he to lose? And he started to flaunt. This is okay with some people, but there are many people who don't like it, especially the old timers. So he started making a lot of enemies. And his sales manager didn't give a damn because he was like, let him show off as much as he like, as long as he's achieving his target. But then when you have a department, when you are a manager, and let's say you have, say, for example, 50 people, and you're pissed off more than 30, and then nobody wants to work with you. So obviously he tried to do his maximum best of keeping this guy away from them. But there was too much of stress, too much of pressure. And in this case, he didn't get terminated because obviously, the sales manager wanted him. But all the other salespeople started to behave indifferently towards him. They started to make fun of him, mock him. And it came to the part where it became so bad, where whenever anyone found out where he was going or which area he was targeting or which customer he was targeting, somehow these guys would plan out together that they would disrupt the sales and make sure the sales didn't go to him. Overall, he reached a point of suffocation and he got in touch with me and I told him, see, listen, you dug your own grave in this. And he did realize, he did apologize, and he didn't want to resign because he knew that kind of package and that kind of commission he would never get, but it was way too late. Once you burn bridges with people and you piss them off, they're not going to like you. So bragging and showing off doesn't work. You're a star achiever, keep a low profile. I'm not asking you to make people like you, but at least don't make them hate you. So he ended up losing. Lucky for him, in his case, he managed to get a competitor's job position thanks to the support of the manager. But, and he did take my service. So I told him, don't repeat the same mistake again. Make money, keep a low profile. Number 6, and this is a Toastmaster-based incident. Toastmasters is a non-profit organization for leadership and communication skills. And I can give you the name of the company because I was involved in Toastmasters those days. This was part of Emirates Airlines. And the problem is in Toastmasters, they encourage you. They applaud. They give you a nice applause. They say, oh, very good. You did a good job. Nice speech. So people tend to get this false sense of confidence. And then some of them, when they start getting confident, they don't know when to shut up. And this was the case with this guy. I think he was from Madras. And during this particular meeting, they had a regional head of Emirates from overseas who came down to view the operations of a particular department that he was part of and take input and try to improve on the process that was there in the country that he was heading. So he came down here and he was with the top guys, and all these guys were called in just to show support and all that. And, he was giving his presentation, which he was very proud of. And after everything, he said, is there anyone who would like to say anything? Contribution in terms of suggestions, ideas and all that. These are Goras. These are big guys from the West, and we are the local Emirati, and you're all big shots. And these are all junior staff, and majority of them were Indians. Majority. All of them, almost 80%. Nobody raised their hand, but this dumb idiot, this dumb idiot raised his hand. His manager, female, she was horrified. She was like, oh my God, tell him to shut up. But by the time it was way too late, he already raised his hand. And this regional head was there. And the other heads of the department, so they were like, they didn't know this guy. They were like, yeah, go ahead. This guy stood up and started to talk with this thick South Indian accent. And he just didn't shut up. He just did not shut up. He went on about, ladies and gentlemen, it's such a great this thing. Abraham Lincoln said this, and, his presentation, this thing. And then he made the big cardinal mistake of commenting on other people and how they could improve. And he started to give suggestions, which you should not. You should not be commenting on other people, giving them suggestions, some presentations or whatever publicly. He thought he was doing a worthwhile job giving suggestions to improve. What they asked is suggestions for the department, for the process. He gave suggestions for individuals. Nobody took it nicely. Nobody. Everyone was fuming. Everyone wanted him to shut up. And finally, when he didn't get the memo, the manager, excuse me, Mr. whatever his name was, we are pressed for time. So I appreciate you taking the courage and sharing. We have made a note of all this. We will now hand it over so we can close down the minutes of the meeting. And he, like a dumb idiot, he thought he did a great job. And he sat down. Little did he know that after this meeting was going to finish, that they were going to meet up again to discuss this guy's behavior with the manager. And the manager was so pissed. Yeah, because he also mentioned her in that, on how she can be a better leader and all that crap. She said, I don't want to work with him. I don't want him working in my department. I just don't want him. So they said, let's not rock the boat. Let's keep quiet. Let's think with a cool mind how things should go about. But he had already pissed off everyone. Nobody wanted to deal with him. And eventually they started to make life miserable for him, to the extent where every mistake of his was highlighted. Like initially before, if he made a mistake, they would support him or they would correct it. They made sure that whatever mistake was highlighted to the management. It came to a part where he literally broke down, and finally, because he was desperate for the job, he was not ready to leave. They finally told him that we're not happy with this thing. And after after 6 months of that incident, he was let go. So very sad. This I got it from that manager, the team that he was under. Next one, sticking with Toastmasters, ABN AMRO Bank, and I was part of Toastmasters, and I personally witnessed this incident. You had ABN AMRO Bank those days. I don't know now. You're talking about 20 years before. It was a very stuffy, fakeish, like Indians wannabe British kind of culture that was there. You would get guys who, as soon as they join ABN AMRO, they would wear a three-piece suit. They would put on an accent. Morning, how are you? Would you like a cup of tea, please? Like, this is not how they would speak normally, but over there they would put an accent. They would walk like this, talk like this. So everyone was acting stuffy, and I noticed this very quickly. So it was a corporate chapter. It's called Toastmasters corporate chapter. So they had invited all the people from various departments, and managers had to, recommend a name who would join. So this particular guy, once again, ironically, I didn't think about this, South Indian guy. And in this case, I don't blame him because he was given the role. So in a Toastmasters meeting, just to make it very simple, each one is assigned a role for a meeting. 3 people will give a speech, then 3 people will evaluate the speech, then someone will conduct on the spot. You need to speak. Then there is a president, then there is a vice president, membership, then there's a vice president education, then there's a treasury, treasurer, the secretary. So it's like a well-oiled machine. So this poor guy, this was not his fault, by the way. He was asked to be the general evaluator. The general evaluator means he will evaluate the whole meeting from the time it started to the time it ended. Okay, with all the speakers, what did they do good? What did they do bad? Evaluators, what did they miss out? People who spoke on the spot, how can they be better? What did they do good? So he was asked to give the sandwich technique. Good, areas to improve, and good again. So sandwich. So you make people feel good. The problem was, one of the persons who gave the main speech was, I think, not young, in his 30s or something, 40s, an Indian guy, but who had a British or European nationality. And he was a very, you could say, cocky son of a bitch. He was very stuck up. He thought no end of himself. He used to only hang around with the upper management or with whites. Like, he always liked to show off. He had the latest cars. So very sensitive ego. This guy, as he was giving suggestions to improve, He gave him suggestions, and because he was a new member, he said some things which he could have said it in a nice way, but he came out really bad. Like he said, like instead of saying you're a powerful communicator, but if you work towards a one-to-one conversation, you can be much better because we love you. You are simply an inspiring leader. Instead of sugarcoating it this way, he actually said this. He said, sometimes we feel you're putting on an accent and you're trying to act like you're very fancy and you're like a James Bond. You like to show off and you like to be sharp. Now, over there, he laughed. He was smiling and all that. But I can tell you for a fact, even me, you could literally see everyone else like their heart dropped from their chest. Like everyone was like, everyone knew for a fact this guy is finished. He is totally finished because this guy occupied a very very senior position. And even though you're smiling, you could make out it was like, I'm going to fuck your happiness, man, boss. After the meeting got over, he was still pleasant. He didn't stay. He went away. But me being one of the not founding members, I was part of the committee who was supporting to help the club as an outside mentor. They all discussed. They said this didn't go well. He didn't look very happy. Well, they tried to speak with him, but he said he was busy. Eventually, he not only shut down the entire corporate chapter after 2 weeks. He said, "We are discontinuing this because their performances are very bad." And this guy is eventually, at some point, I totally forgot about it, but it seems he got terminated, and he was terminated by this very guy. So, yeah, sometimes it's good to shut your mouth, especially when you're dealing with someone powerful. Number 8, this one happened. It is pretty memorable that it happened because this female approached me as a coach, as a client. Sorry, she approached me as a client. Long story short, smart female in her 40s, mixed breed, Indian mixed breed, but who has, been over the world and worked in companies. Problem with her is because she was single, even after crossing her 40s, she had too much of silicone and too much of Botox and all that. She was very good at her job, very, very good. But she liked to flaunt her assets. So much so that, during the interview, like maybe she got it covered. But when she came to the job, she made sure that her assets could be seen and it was like popping out. The owner, I guess, didn't mind it. But it was more like a family business where members of the family were there. She got terminated within less than 3 days. And she couldn't understand why she got terminated. Good position, good job. I think it was, she was the secretary to the MD. So the owner didn't mind, but the owner's wife, when she came to see this, she didn't like it one bit. And where she approached me was, what had happened was when she found out from somebody else working there, she got terminated for showing her boobies and her, tight-fitting outfits. She tried to take legal action against them, but little did she know that people with power can jack you. They got her jacked badly, and it is only when she realized a mistake and it was way too late, she got in touch with me and I told her what to do. And but yeah, the owner's wife didn't want to forgive, but finally they were like, just let go, forget. Imagine in 3 days, she made a complete ruckus of everything. Number 9 is this happened during the peak after COVID, when a lot of people took on social media to voice their opinions. And this was a time where there was Hindu-Muslim issues. This idiot, good job, everything great, decided to badmouth Islam, Prophet Muhammad, and Muslims in India. And I don't need to tell you what happens if you badmouth Muslims and Islam. He didn't speak on anyone from UAE, but he was like critical of Islam. I can't remember specifically what, but he posted some images which were demeaning for Islam. And he thought nobody would know about it. The people found out, when they found out he was Indian and he was working in Dubai, These Muslims contacted people or friends of theirs who were in Dubai, and very soon they found out where he worked. And they not only complained to the police, uh, his company decision makers and HR were involved, and they said, if you keep him and don't terminate him, we are going to name and shame the company. The company didn't want to get involved, and he got a lifetime ban for this. And it was only when it was too late, he got in touch with me. I said, I can't help you. And last, if not the least, number 10, I'll give you two examples here. When you come to UAE to get a job, the employer employs you to help him make money, not for you to be religious, spiritual, and show you're a goody two shoes. The first guy was a Muslim. This guy was from India. I can't get his. No, sorry. He was from India, I think. His name was India or Pakistan. Not too sure. But his name was Khan. Okay. I don't want to give more details here. He was Indian, but he had Muslim Pakistani friends. In this company, he was the only Muslim who used to hang around with Pakistanis. And, you're working in this setup where it's like you're a worker. You're supposed to work fixed number of hours. There's a break, then fixed number of hours, and then there's overtime. So these guys thought they could use religion as an excuse not to work. So they started to go to pray, which many Muslims have told me this is rubbish. They are just ruining the name of Islam and spoiling the name of what Islam is all about. Because during working hours, you shouldn't be doing this. But it happens in all companies, including Emirates. During working hours, this guy with these Pakistani guys, they started to go to pray to the mosque. Now, the mosque was nearby. It would have been okay if you just went 10, 15 minutes. They would actually take 45 minutes to an hour from, ablution, I think it's called, washing of the hands and washing of the feet, preparing yourself. It was like 10 minutes you can do it. But these guys were taking advantage of the system where they would do it once or twice a day. Not too clear on it, but they did do it multiple number of times, almost every day. Okay. And because he was the leader who initiated the whole thing, the owner who was not Muslim, he was he was not sure what to do about this because he didn't want it to be, they didn't want it to be, oh, you're against Islam. So what did the owner do? Owner did a very simple, very smart strategy, which he adopted. He said, because he had installed, fingerprint, this thing, he said, every time you go out for a break, this will be deducted, whether it's food, anything. I don't care. You can go for prayer, you can do anything. It'll be deducted from the number of hours you work. And if you want to get your full salary, it should be compensated after working hours. So the minute he found out that after working hours, he'll have to stay to compensate the number of hours, eventually the unity broke off. And this guy tried to make a big noise. He just told him that, I know you're trying to prove, that you are smarter than me. The owner clearly told him, I'm a multi-millionaire. I can take you to court and I'll drag this until maybe 20, 30 years if required. So you want to challenge me? Go ahead. If you want to work quietly, make your money and get your overtime, you decide. Eventually, I think the other guy spoke to him. Common sense prevailed. And fine, he decided no more praying during office hours. In fact, he totally stopped praying altogether, all of them. So, because end of the day, they just want to go home. This is all bullshit. People who really pray to God don't use during office hours as an excuse. And since I have to balance it between being a Christian guy, this is very, very funny. The thing is, he is the brother of a millionaire. This guy is a brother of a millionaire. And through the brother of a millionaire, owner of a factory, he got his brother a good job in with a competitor who was also involved, as a business relationship in the same line of work, but it was a larger company. And he got him at a very good position. One day, his senior manager, when you're working for a multinational company and you're getting twice or three times or five times more for the same job, but you're working in oil and gas, which is very sensitive, you are supposed to report on time. And the position that he was, oil and gas, was so sensitive that if there's a problem now, you have to be there now. It can be 3 o'clock in the morning, it can be 6 in the evening, it can be 9 in the afternoon, 9 in the morning or evening, whenever. 24/7, you have to be there. That is why they're paying you a big salary. When the owner, who was British, called him, very dedicated to the job, senior guy, director, he called this guy for a particular task because the other guys were busy. This guy didn't pick up. And the rule was you have to pick up your phone. It was company provided, with the satellite, all these facilities. He didn't pick up. And why he didn't pick up? Because he was in the church at 5 in the morning. Every day he would go to church at 5 in the morning. When this British guy finally got to him, he was like, "Where the fuck are you? What? I asked you to come on time." He was giving him. And this guy, instead of admitting his mistake and telling him sorry, started lecturing him about Jesus. The Bible, in the Bible, chapter 4, verse 7 says, like Dr. Zakir, not Dr. Zakir Naik, that goat. So he started quoting the Bible. He said, like Austin 3:16, he said, "I'm going to kick your ass, get you terminated on the spot, and you will be banned from ever entering this country." And he thought, because his brother was owner of a multinational a big multi-million-dollar company, that nothing would happen to him. He said, "Jesus will see." So the British guys said, "Fuck you, fuck your Jesus, fuck your church. I'm terminating you on the spot." So this guy, "Jesus, you can't touch me with Jesus," and all that he said. This British guy called the owner because they were close. And the owner respected him because he used to give him very high-end, sensitive projects for oil and gas. And as soon as he told him what the problem was, even the owner was a holy guy, he called up his brother and he told him, I am going to personally kick your ass. Okay, I've told him to cancel your visa, cancel your this thing, give you a lifetime ban. Don't ever come back to me again. So there he got shocked. Until now, he was overconfident that Jesus will help him. He thought his brother will side with him. Nobody can touch him. The owner, who had better common sense, his brother, told him, "If you lose your job, you're going back to the village where you came from." And this guy got so scared and he begged and pleaded, and he told him, "Go catch his feet, beg him, tell him, you want me to work 24/7? I'll work 24/7. Jesus and all that will come later." Because he told him, God gave you this opportunity and you're disrespecting it. So finally, common sense prevailed. He was suspended for, I think, a month, no pay. And he was told, "Pray to Jesus all you like, 24/7 this whole month. And after 1 month, come back and we will see." But because the owner requested him not to give him a ban, after 1 month, no salary. From that day onwards, first is work, then comes church. And even if he's in the church, phone is on, and he was always, on time for everything. Anyway, lessons learned. Anyway, these are the 10 examples of Indians doing extraordinarily stupid things. Let me know in the comment section which one you could resonate with, which one was the most ridiculous one, and which one you think was like, "Oh my goodness, what the hell?" And yeah, if you have any examples, feel free, share them below. This is me signing off. You guys take care. Ciao.